learning to compartmentalize will make life easier. ऐसा नहीं कि टेंशन नहीं है, ऐसा है अपने को भी बहुत है. Health and that wellness is important from within. कि हाँ problems है यार. Today, the most sought after rehabilitation counselor who works with children, adults who are all involved in substance abuse. This I can do it today is because of that 15-year-old who went through all that and went through all the withdrawals, went through rehab herself.
Welcome to Bifocal Naturalist. Our guest today is Dr. Sumithra Prasad. Sumitra's life is a testament to courage, challenges, and compassion. And she's a very, very resilient person. She has overcome all challenges in life, right from adolescence to date, head on, and has inspired millions. And she has encouraged women to take on and learn from her. Welcome, Sumitra. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much. I'm doing good. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
Good, good. And it's so lovely to have you here. And after meeting you at ITM Management School, I was so inspired by you. I said, I must have you on my show. So, Sumitra, can you tell us, about your college days and how you healed yourself?
Yes, I'm basically from Mumbai. And as you know, we have a junior college system in Mumbai, unlike what is happening. Now I'm based in Chennai. We have the junior college system there. So after my 10th, I was in SIS college in Sion, and my FYJC was really, really, really very challenging. Challenging because challenging in a very nice way, because I got to explode all the innate energies that I had. So it all went haywire everywhere. But I'm glad for that explosion that took place, which includes smoking, which include drinking, included fighting, having a lot of fights and maramari, traveling to different places, and basically uh, being being a rebel. And it's like, the song fit me perfectly. दुनिया ने हमको दिया क्या, दुनिया ने हमसे लिया क्या. So I was someone who got into drugs full-fledged, and then I was not only into potting, smoking, but I also went a step higher. Went a step higher by making joints and selling. So I was also peddling. And this is when I was just about, I'm smiling now. I'm smiling because I'll tell you the process. It's all today. The most sought after rehabilitation counselor who works with children, adults who are all involved in substance abuse. This I can do it today is because of that 15-year-old who went through all that and went through all the withdrawals, went through rehab herself. So in Marathi, there is a saying, "Jala jalata, tela kalata."
Oh,
So since you've gone through the drill, today I know what withdrawals are. So I'm able to communicate better. I'm able to relate better. I'm able to empathize better. I'm able to rehabilitate better as a professional for my de-addiction programs. So anyway, so it goes back to this. So it's really very easy today, and it's very difficult for anyone to hear this, that if you introduce me professionally today as sorry, I'm just bringing this, I might go back and forth for people and for everybody to understand that one's journey of life is not something that is a straight line. And you need not be a really smart kid in school sitting on the first bench getting first marks, being your teacher's favorite, being the favorite, papa's favorite, mummy's favorite. Is that you? Yes, yes, yes. Most of us, well, life has been different. And yet, we all understand our process. And once we get into understanding the evolving process of our own self, I guess from that drug addict who went into rehabilitation, getting rusticated from college, not getting the hall ticket for board exams in my 12th, Professor Ramaswamy, who's no more now, called my mom. My mom fell at his feet. All this happened. And look, you are interviewing today officially. My name is Karmavir Maharatna Dr. Sumithra Prasad. So, the journey has come so far.
Yes.
Uh,
And
yeah, so
same,
that is.
yeah, and the same professor, Professor Ramaswamy, who took you off college, he invited you home and he,
Yes.
yes, he,
We had, yeah, he was. I have a picture.
yes,
I have
he
a picture
felicitated
in
you.
Professor Ramaswamy's house, right under his photograph. Actually, his daughter-in-law presented an award, which I was late to pick up from there. So the Illuminary Award or something like that. So yes,
Yes,
it's come to full circle. So
correct.
I'm sure he's watching from above and he's saying, wow,
Yes,
I threw her
definitely.
out. I threw her out of college, but then I gave her one chance to redeem herself. And boy, did she redeem. And today she's having all these redeem coupons with her. And she's distributing to all those who need
Yes.
that little support and that little light. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so
How you evolve yourself, and you're teaching others. Even if you're a backbencher, you still have hope, you can excel. It's
absolutely,
not just the front
absolutely.
benchers who excel, anyone with a drive. I think you have been driven, you had so much of motivation to heal others. I think that is what drove you to excellence.
So that is perhaps the most important turning point of my life, because I saw my mother falling at his feet and then asking for him to just give the hall ticket so that I can appear for the exam. And that was how. And then I had just about a month. My elder sister got married in February, and it was Jan end when I was called, and I was asked to promise that I will be able to do that. My attendance were bad. Somehow I managed to go through. I had just 1 month to prep for myself and understand what I would be doing. And trust me, that 1 month, the kind of support that I got from my family, my father especially. At least my mother knew, and she would keep saying, "You have to prove yourself now. Be good, and prove yourself. Don't make my tears and my falling to somebody's feet, go in vain." But my father never opened his mouth. Never, ever said a word. So Dorai Foundation, the organization that I founded in 2005 after he passed away. Today, after having touched 1.2 million people across 28 states, Dorai
Wow.
Foundation, Dorai is my father's pet name, and so he he trusted me, and I dedicate my life today serving under Dore Foundation, that is after my father's name, because that's also something that is very important. The belief that you are different, you were made different, probably to make a difference. And that's how it started. And then, of course, my withdrawal symptoms were very difficult, so I started running. I started martial arts, and and it's so nice because my martial arts, my black belt, my boxing, my karate all helps me till date fighting because we have a forum against domestic violence, and the number of husbands that I would have beaten up in different slum areas and different communities is absolutely unbelievable. And I have that record. So unlike others who use martial arts to fight in tournaments and get their medals and awards, I prefer using them on streets so that it makes a difference. It makes an impact. And yeah, so my knuckles are also broken, most of them, and it's in bad shape, but it's worth it. So these are my medals and
USP.
for
Oh,
for for
you are
having
so
done that.
different from anyone I have met, Sumitra. Sumitra, tell me, how did you start Dorai Foundation, which is a pan-India NGO? And not only across geographies, you're also across different challenges. You work with women, you work with elders, you work with challenged. I mean, you work with practically everyone and across all the states of India. How and why did you think of this?
It's like I mentioned to you, there is a lot of energy, और वो energy का क्या करना है कभी समझ में नहीं आता. And then as I started uh, college and psychology and learning about different needs, about special needs, and then as you know, I'm also a special mother. Uh,
Yes.
Probably we'll come to that a little later, but I'm a person with ADHD. I have attention deficiency hyperactive disorder. So उसको उस जमाने में नहीं समझे थे. तो अभी उसको समझ के क्या करना है, समझ को समझना भी एक समझ है. जब उसको समझे हम, तो I thought I will put it to the best use, because learning about yourself is important. Doing something positive, constructive, creative, productive with that learning is more important. So then I realized that yes, it is this energy which is so much in abundance that एक जगह पे स्थिर नहीं रहती है, यहाँ जाती है, वहां जाती है, ये भागती है, ये करती है, वो करती है. So all that has to be done. Then it became a broad spectrum perception कि यार फिर एक ही बंदों के साथ क्यों काम करना, बच्चे हैं तो सिर्फ सो कॉल्ड नॉर्मल बच्चे, क्या बात है, स्पेशल नीड्स के साथ काम करेंगे. And so these sections of the community, like you rightly said, we work across all sections, be it the tribal community, be it the transgender community, be it the special needs. Special needs may be the neurologically challenged and the physically challenged. It could just mean anybody. We work with rape victims. I also work with on POXO cases, children who are molested. There is a separate group which is called the adult survivors of child abuse. That there is another forum that I'm working with. And then of course you have the women empowerment project that is exclusively for single mothers, which is run uh, for those women who have been abused, who have been thrown out, and they've been victims of domestic violence, or or husbands have passed away, or they are half widows. So that is another section. And rehabilitation of commercial sex workers. That is another section of uh, my dear. Many of them call me mummy, so I'm also not just a proud mother of a 33-year-old son with autism, or a mother of a 28-year-old expressive art therapist, but also I'm a very proud mother of many children, girls, young girls and boys who do their internship at Dorai Foundation, and today they are youth leaders across the country, engaging in different projects, and also of these women, trans girls, trans boys, and sex workers. There are some who are in the field, yet माँ को अपने सारे बच्चे प्रिय होते हैं. So there are some who are into this, and there are some who have come out of it, and some who we've been able to settle them separately. Some of them are independently doing a lot of socio-economic activities. They're all independent. So around, I also take pride, very humbly, but yeah. But I'm very happy that there are 128 girls who have been rescued and provided rehabilitation after their program of the rescue program from the flesh trade. So,
That's
yeah, so
wonderful.
officially the mother of these 128 ex sex workers. So now they are not. Most of them are all doing different activities. And I make sure that they're all there in different parts, doing their bit, being contributing members. Maybe they are making mehendi powder somewhere. Somebody is making some different item, having a chai ka thela. Somebody, किसी के पास पान पत्ती का thela लगा. So they're all doing different activities. A couple of them are married, but this is how the sections of the population is divided. Yes, we work geriatric care, a lot of homes. Uh, we are partnering with many organizations that look at destitute elderly. In fact, you will be happy to note that coming summer, come summer, and then we have hashtag beat the heat, and and we are distributing
Watermelons.
watermelons
Yes.
specifically to different homes. So that is to take care of them, and there are different orphanages that I go to and provide counseling support to these homes, to the members of these homes. So that's one section. And why should all these sections be only in one place? I remember I never needed any more critical analyst in my life because my mother was good enough for having many. So all the day after I receive an award was the only good day. फिर दूसरे दिन ही चालू हो जाता था, क्या करती है, बेकार में इधर जाती है, घर का पैसा बर्बाद करती है, देयर इज नो नीड, लाइफ विल गो ऑन, यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू मेक अ डिफरेंस, what is this big thing, people are going to remain like this, there is something called naseeb, they all have their fate, you can't interfere in people's fate, that is their karma. And like she's given me a lot of gyan, and saying, for me, uh, charity begins at home. You must have heard it. It is important. Having a special child, who will let go of your special child and then go and do duties and counseling for other? What is all this nonsense? So time and again it was there, and the rebel in me was always awakened. I was like, the more you say no, the more I got excited. And then she said, क्या बड़ा एनजीओ चला के एक इतना ही जगह पे उछल रही है, लाइक वेल के अंदर एक मेंढक है, वो मेंढक उछलता रहता है, तू ऐसे ही कर रही है, थोड़ा काम करके उछल रही है. एंड आई सेड, तुम मुझे आई सेड ओके, वेरी नाइस. सो मुझे, आई शुड एक्चुअली थैंक हर, क्योंकि शी मोटिवेटेड मी इन अ वे, शी न्यू हाउ टू ट्रिगर, कि इसको कैसा, इसका कांडे आग कैसा लगाने का, इसका नीचे शी न्यू. तो गैस बर्नर को जलाया. तो इधर तुमको लगता है मैं एक कुएं में करूंगी काम, अभी देखना सब जगह जाके. So I should thank her because she was there, the rock solid. So I would
Yeah.
go, whether I'm traveling to
So,
Ladakh or traveling to Kashmir or to Uttarakhand, Himachal, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, wherever, मतलब कहीं पर भी मैं जाकर आऊं, I would come back, मतलब देखा ये किया मैंने, इधर जाके आई. तो and then she said, और तो बाकी है, कितना 15-20 करके क्या फायदा, इतना और बाकी है, अभी तो नए नए स्टेट्स हो गए. So before she actually, just to tell you, on a very sentimental note, uh, November, we completed my Bharat Seva Abhiyan, finishing the last 4 states, completing 28 states of India. I wanted to complete this before she passed away, but logistics, money, resources, ये मोबिलाइज करते करते 2 साल हो गए, और उसमें अम्मा गुजर गई. तो नहीं कर पाए, बट आई रियली वांटेड कि अम्मा को बताना था, देख तू बोल रही थी कुएं की मेंढक, अभी पूरा जितना कुआ क्या तालाब, पूरा मैं अरेबियन सी, इधर बे ऑफ बंगाल, इंडियन ओशन, सब कवर करके आ गई, हिमालय को भी छोड़ा नहीं, लद्दाख तक पहुंच के आ गई, काम करके आई.
wonderful,
सो
wonderful, Sumitra. You've done so much, but how did you face, when you had a child who was challenged? I mean, how did you recognize, and then how did you take care of him?
when he was born, he was born a month prior. born 2nd October 1991. So it was a normal delivery. Of course, a month earlier. Uh, पर तभी कुछ दिक्कत नहीं थी. The first 10 months, I absolutely was oblivious of what was happening medically also. धीरे धीरे वो तकलीफ नजर आने लगे. So him being a person with autism was much later. That happened much later. But he was born with post-hepatic cirrhosis of the liver. So though it was a normal delivery, but the child was already having medical issues. So today, if you ask for his medical history or his profile, so he is a child born with post-hepatic cirrhosis of the liver. He has glycogen storage disorder type 4. He has partial complex convulsive seizures, has tachycardia, and his lungs are weak. Um, and he's been comatose thrice due to hypoglycemia. And the third time, last time was when he was 16. He was on the ventilator for 2 months, uh, uh, and because he had miliary tuberculosis and he had tuberculoma of the brain. So that was I think it was the most challenging period of my life because it's a miracle that he's come back alive. So the medical in the first few years of his life, the medical challenges were were so large. It was overshadowing those little nuances that we missed of him having any kind of neurological impairment. न्यूरोलॉजिकल इम्पेयरमेंट ये शब्द तो उस जमाने में था ही नहीं. यू आर इनवेरिएबली पीपल वुड से मेंटली चैलेंज, दैट्स इट. तो वो कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं था और उसको नहीं था वो. यू कांट से दैट बिकॉज व्हेन ही वाज barely, केजी में छोटा सा था, बट ही हैड incredible memory. He was someone, जब बच्चे ABCD बोलते तो he would say A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, D for dog, E for elephant, F for G for goat. मतलब बंदा रुकता नहीं था. The moment he would finish Y for yacht, Z for zebra, ताली बजाओ. And then, you know, तभी I was extremely proud कि यार बच्चे को इतनी मेडिकल इश्यूज होने के बावजूद he is so brilliant, हर चीज को याद करता है. And they were everyone was surprised, and तभी लगा ही नहीं, trust me. So actually, it's really इतना जोर का चाटा है ना. मतलब जोर का धक्का धीरे से लगे ऐसा नहीं है. जोर का धक्का जोर से ही लगा. बिकॉज यू आर नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड. नो, यू ऑलवेज थॉट इन स्कूल, मतलब छोटा सा बच्चा 4 साल का बच्चा क्लास में, वो नर्सरी में, एंड ही वुड वेयर, वो स्कूल में जस्ट टू चेक अटेंडेंस, कोई रजिस्टर जैसा होता था. तो नाम लेते थे, 20 स्टूडेंट्स, अभय, अनिल, तीसरा चौथे के बाद यू वुड फाइंड श्रीनिवासा टेलिंग अजय, जज, अक्षय, बीना, मैडम. ही न्यू, मतलब कंठी याद रहता था उसको. कोई बाय द टाइम नर्सरी राइम्स बोलते एंड ही वुड चैंट शिव स्तुति, विष्णु सहस्त्र नाम, जो आज तक लोगों को याद नहीं रहते इतने सालों के बाद भी. लोग सुनते रहते हैं फिर भी याद नहीं रहता. बट ही वुड चैंट दैट मच. वो कितना, वे 5 साल का था, विष्णु सहस्त्र नाम उसको याद था. सो ही वुड सो इट वाज रोट लर्निंग इतना अच्छा था. सो आई नेवर थॉट कि ओ, अ चाइल्ड हु कुड डू ऑल दिस can ever be called anything like being autistic. Asperger syndrome, जिसको specify करके आज as a professional I work in the sector, so I know how there are different types of intelligences, and कैसे ये सारी चीजें हुई उसके साथ. And then it just seemed so I know. I mean, I feel that all these things that happened with Sahitya over a period of years, then that hit you कि यार ये बच्चा बैठता नहीं है, इसको ADHD भी है, ये लिखता नहीं है, and he doesn't interact with you. वो घूमता रहेगा, बोलता रहेगा, and he would chant. So then never realizing that, this is probably one of the conditions. So,
Don't recognize the
I remember, जी, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल.
nice.
So, and it even 2006 तक, I think 2006, 5 तक लोगों को एस्पर्जर सिंड्रोम ये नहीं मालूम था. ये नाम भी बाद में ही आया.
You're able to recognize this, in other children, has this,
Absolutely.
yeah, must have helped you, to diagnose faster. Because many of the things, I mean, your child was not diagnosed easily. So this probably helped you. And Sumitra, you do so many different kinds of projects. I've been reading Swachha, Siksha, Swastha. Can you tell us more about all those?
Yes. Yes. Um, so the Sai project, it's one of the projects that we do with, it's called Society All Inclusive, where we are looking at all the different types of people with different disabilities and different challenges who come together, and we provide all kind of, like you rightly mentioned, counseling hota hai, assessment hota hai, functional assessment karte hain कि ये बच्चा क्या कर सकता है, क्या नहीं कर सकता है. See, not everybody has the scholastic aptitude to जो academic pursuit में जा सके. तो बहुत लोगों को प्री वोकेशनल में डाल के we try and work around these children from the lens of multiple intelligences. So उसके अंतर्गत काम होता है. So these are different verticals that come under the Foundation. So we have the project Sai. We have a project Shiksha, like you rightly mentioned, कि it is Shiksha is education. So education पे हम लोग काम करते हैं, support provide करते हैं, support fees का support होना, that is one thing. Stationery provide करना, setting up libraries, toy libraries and book libraries, giving charts, flash cards, charts बना के हम लोग अलग अलग schools में देते हैं. हम लोग study material देते हैं. We give learning materials also. जो हमारे GK के क्लास ये होते हैं, you have those picture posters. We buy them, laminate them if they are here down south, तो southern languages में English के साथ होता है. We buy them, laminate them, and then we give them. So that becomes like their library thing. So that is Project Shiksha. We also do training
And
program for
Sumitra, I
yeah,
feel, education is one way, where you're shining and you're able to communicate, because you've reached the pinnacle of education and you really strived very hard. You did your MS Masters and then you did your PhD. It's
and
remarkable.
I'm studying further. I managed to do a lot of certificate courses during COVID. I'm also trying to understand the the Indic studies of
Yeah.
where do we have origin of we're taking psychology, modern psychology, and trying to associate and relate it with that research is ongoing with our texts,
Ancient
like ancient texts. Like
wisdom.
I always say that the greatest counselor and behavioral modification therapist was Krishna, because he managed to do the behavioral modification of Arjuna when he was at the battlefield. तो क्या बोला होगा, क्या किया होगा, क्या दिखाया होगा, क्या बताया होगा, कैसे जताया होगा, किस हिसाब से बताया होगा, कैसे कॉग्निटिवली मैनिपुलेट किया होगा, थॉट प्रोसेस को चेंज किया होगा कि बंदा उठा और फिर वो बाण चलाने लग गया और पूरे कौरव की सेना को हरा दिया. So I think he is the bestest of
Yes,
uh,
I agree completely.
counselors.
I always tell young children and people that Krishna used to stand under the we call it pagoda. That is, it's got, berries and lovely fragrance, aroma coming. And he would stand under that playing his flute. And all the gopikas would come because they would be enticed by the fragrance of the flowers. Bakul, it's a bakul tree. And they could eat the berries. They were sweet and nice to eat and listen to the music. Today it's so difficult for a boy to get a good girl, as a girlfriend. But Krishna had so many. He, used
Mm.
psychology. So, Sumitra, I really
Absolutely.
love this. Can you
Absolutely.
give us some message, for the young and not so young? Because you've gone through so many challenges as a special mother, as a college
Yes.
student. I would like to listen. What would you give a message to the young people and not so young?
Uh, See, during our one of the projects is Project Swasth, which Swasth is looking at health and uh, तो mental health camps भी हम लोग करते हैं because I'm part of the community mental health program, and Dore Foundation is primarily a community based organization. Like we work across uh, the pan India काम करते हैं and with different groups काम करते हैं, and the whole concept of being healthy inside out, कि problems तो है, there are a lot of issues, there are a lot of problems medically. आपको दवाइयाँ दे के मेडिकल कैंप्स होता है, हम लोग बहुत सारे करते हैं उससे, by giving you things that are external, आप अपने आप को ठीक करने की वो प्रयास हमारा रहता है, जो that is an ongoing, that is a entire वो process है, और वो journey है, प्रवास है, तो प्रवास आहे, जीवनाचा प्रवास है. बट देर इज समथिंग जो प्रयास आपको करना है, जो अंदरूनी है, सो दैट हेल्थ एंड दैट वेलनेस इज इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम विद इन. कि हाँ प्रॉब्लम्स है यार, आई मीन जाते हो गर्लफ्रेंड को या किसी को देना है तो आप क्या देते हो, आप रोज देते हो. ये रोज ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है, उसके कांटे भी होते हैं. तो आप क्या रोज नहीं देते हो क्या? रोज डे होता है, रोज सिंबल ऑफ लव, लेकिन उसमें क्या है, कांटा है, तो उसको निकाल के आप ये थोड़ी सोच रहे हो अरे यार रोज कैसे दो, उसमें कांटा है. नहीं, यू लेट गो ऑफ दैट विच माइट बी ट्रबलसम, दैट विच माइट बी चैलेंजिंग, पर उसको निकाल के अच्छी चीज देते हैं. And there are certain things we call in psychology, there's something called perceived threats,
Mm-hmm.
जो आप it is not happening.
Correct.
आप पानी में या हुआ नहीं है, लेकिन वो डर है, और दिल्ली में मत जाना, रात के मत जाना रे.
Mm-hmm.
गए नहीं हो, आप गए हो क्या? नहीं. रात को गए हो क्या? नहीं.
Right.
लेकिन दिस परसीव्ड फियर जो है ना, शायद होने की संभावना है, संभावना नहीं है, आपके
Mm-hmm.
साथ नहीं हो सकता. और जब तक वो कुचल जाते हैं जिनको चलना नहीं आता ना, पैरों तले नहीं, आप खुद ही अपने आप को ही वहां पर रोक के रहकर अपने आप को दबा रहे हो. सो दिस बिकम्स अ रियल, वो अगेन वंस अगेन, it is not empathizing with oneself, it is not even pitying oneself, it is believing that you are not capable.
Correct. Putting your own
That
stumbling block ahead of you,
absolutely.
and
एंड
thank
तुम
you.
अपने आप को इतना निकम्मा और अपने आप का वजूद को इतना कम करते हो, थोड़ा बाहर निकल के चलो. सो द मोमेंट यू ओपन देम अपना, लाइक फाड़ दूंगी, याद रखना ये करना ही पड़ेगा. सो दे कांट बिलीव, यंगस्टर्स, कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स, इंटर्न्स हु डू दैट, उनको डालते हैं दिल. एंड आई टेल देम कि अभी गाली दोगे मुझे, लेकिन अगले साल, 2 साल के बाद जब काम करोगे तभी याद करोगे, अरे सुमी मैम ने बोला था बिल्कुल. एंड टुडे, and literally over the last 15 years of my personal association with ITM, there are all these students जो हमारे साथ उस जमाने से 2010 से जो जुड़े हुए हैं, जिनके बच्चे बच्चे हो गए, वो लोग आज बोलते हैं कि मैम जो आपने बोला था वो 5 साल के मेरे बच्चे को मैं बताता हूँ. तो
Yes.
इट इज सो नाइस, क्योंकि मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ ड्यूरिंग माय ओरिएंटेशन ऑल्सो कि मैं आई एम नॉट हियर टू टीच यू एकेडमिक्स. वो मैं नहीं कर रही हूँ, है ना. वो उसके लिए आपके डेजिग्नेटेड टीचर्स हैं. यहाँ पे लाइफ लेसन है.
Yes.
माँ कसम, सीखोगे तो आगे निकल जाओगे. लर्निंग टू कंपार्टमेंटलाइज विल मेक लाइफ इजियर. ऐसा नहीं कि टेंशन नहीं है, ऐसा है, अपने को भी बहुत है. सिर्फ अपने घर का ही नहीं है, आप बहुत सारे चीजों का है यार, कसम से. So many people, because you're taking onus and responsibility of so many things that are happening around. And every, like I wrote to you, every award is like, अभी संडे को एक मिल रहा है, so another, yet another. So but that is, yes, it makes me happy, but then it's again like, people say, oh, feather on your cap and all that. मैं बोलती हूँ नहीं यार, ये और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ जितने सारे पेड़ में अगर फल लगते हैं, उसके फांदी जो है, उसके जो टहनी है, वो ज्यादा और झुकेंगे. मेरे को और कितना झुका रहे हो यार भगवान, और भी झुकी हुई हो. मैं बहुत बहुत ग्राउंडेड हूँ. आई एम वेरी सॉर्टेड, वेरी ग्राउंडेड. कोई चीज क्राउन नहीं पहनती हूँ क्योंकि नहीं चाहिए. आई वेयर वो क्राउन ऑफ थॉर्न्स चलेगा अपने को, वो पहन
Heavy
के
lies the
चलेंगे
head
अपन.
which wears the crown. When you get more laurels, the weight of taking care of the world is much more, with you
Much
now,
more.
with
True,
so many
true.
awards you're getting. And I love the way you're telling us to compartmentalize things and
Yeah,
prioritize things and lessen our
absolutely.
stress and tension. Thank you very much, Sumitra. It was lovely having you on my show. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.